everyone, it's a Scary Pear, and today, let's go back to Mario Kart. Today, I will be counting down the top 10 Mario Kart DS retro tracks. So yeah, of course I'm going to be doing a face-off with the retro tracks as well as I did with the nitro tracks. So not only will you know my all-time favourite nitro track, but you also will know my all-time favourite retro track. So yeah, let's just get straight into this. Number 10 will go to GCN Yoshi Circuit. Now, the original was pretty good, I will accept that. And I really do like GCN Yoshi Circuit because, you know, the whole track is shaped like a Yoshi, so you know it's gonna be good. But this version is slightly worse than the original because some of the shortcuts has been cut out, so you can't take them anymore. And yeah, it's basically just a watered down version of the original, but still, it is a very good track and a pretty complicated track to fit into a Nintendo DS, so props up to Nintendo for that one. Good start, Nintendo, good start. What haven't I said about Moo Moo Farm? This track looks very rushed and nothing has changed. In fact, Nintendo hasn't even fixed the issue with the cows. They still don't move. Even with the DS's technology, Nintendo still couldn't get them to move, and for that reason, then this track is not moving higher than number 9. You might remember in my top 10 Mario Kart Super Circuit tracks that I only really like this track because of the retro fuzz music. Well, this theme on the DS sounds terrible, like absolutely terrible. Visually, the track hasn't changed either. I mean, it looks kind of 3D, but whatever. It just looks exactly the same. Sky Garden, this is just such a disappointing track, especially since the original was so good. The remake just wasn't. The music is just objectively worse, and the visuals hasn't changed that much. Number 8, GBA Sky Garden. SNES Cooper Beach 2. Turn left. That's it. Okay, this track isn't too bad actually. I kind of like the Cheap Cheeps and the track does look a lot better than the original. It isn't a bad track, but it's just not a great one either. Definitely worthy of number 7, SNES Cooper Beach 2. And the most underrated track in Mario Kart history will make number 6. So yeah, you probably have heard me talk about this track and why I think it's underrated in my top 10 Super Mario Kart tracks videos, and I pretty much feel the same way in the remake. And it also is kind of neat how the first ever Mario Kart track is also the first ever Mario Kart track to be retro, which, you know, is a neat touch. So yeah, there's not really that much more to say about this track because it is very basic, but it still is a good and always will be a very good starter course. It is underrated. SNES Mario Circuit 1 at number 6. We meet again, Donut Plains. Donut Plains 1 from Mario Kart DS, it's a decent remake and it is pretty well done. The overall track looks better and it's nice to see the track in 3D. I generally do like Donut Plains. I like the music, I like the overall atmosphere, it's really relaxing, and of course the colourful blocks. How can I not forget the colourful blocks? Again, not really too much to say about Donut Plains, it's just a nice, simple, relaxing track with brilliant music. But of course there are a lot better tracks in this game. Now, I loved the N64 version of this track. In fact, it made it to number 1 because it was just so nostalgic. But that was my favourite track in Mario Kart 64. The DS remake didn't really do that much to improve the original, so that's the reason why it isn't number 1. But nevertheless, all the assets from the original track still holds up in this remake. So I'm not really going to talk about this track for much more since I pretty much said what is needed to be said in the Mario Kart 64 list. Other than this track, yeah, the music did slightly ruin it a little bit, but the vibe of Choco Mountain, the adventurous vibe of it that the remake was all about, is still there. You probably weren't expecting GBA Luigi Circuit to make it so high on this list, But overall, I really like this track, and, well, there's only really one reason why it's so high, and it's pretty obvious: the rain. It's literally one of the only few Mario Kart tracks that rains. I mean, other than that and maybe 3DS Cooper City, is there any other Mario Kart tracks that rains? Not off the top of my head anyway. I may have missed some. But anyway, I just really like this track because of the rain and the weather. It just makes it so unique. So yeah, maybe it is a little bit too high, but you know, it's my list, so it's my opinion. But I think that GBA Luigi Circuit makes number 3. No, not again! GBA Bowser Castle 2 has missed the number 1 place again. In my top 10 Mario Kart Super Circuit Tracks video, it lost to GBA Sunset Wilds, and in this list, well, you'll soon see which track it will lose to. The music isn't strictly better than the original GBA version, but it is still pretty cool. I mean, half the time you're just hearing drum beats. I mean, they may have done that due to hardware limitations or whether Nintendo actually thought it was a good twist to it, but either or, I'm not complaining, it's still pretty epic. And it's a lot more fun to race on, and the jumps and the thumps are still really good. Although, for the second time, it missed number 1. Let's see which track it lost to this time. N64 Frappe Snowland. You probably weren't expecting Frappe Snowland to win the Mario Kart DS Retro Track video, but if you let me explain, you'll know why. Like I said before, Frappe Snowland is the only snow and ice track in the Mario franchise that I really like, and kind of Mount Warrior, but you know, simply because of the nostalgic feel. The snow to the snowmen, to jumping over a river, and to the awesome music. This track is definitely a track to be desired, and a very underrated track. The snow makes it really fun as well. Seriously, I'll say this track is probably the most underrated track in the entire franchise. The first one, of course, being SNES Mario Circuit 1. It definitely deserves a lot more love than it gets, so I'm going to help this track get the recognition that it deserves by declaring this nostalgic N64 track as the best retro track in Mario Kart DS. So, Frappe Snowland made it to number 1, so it will indeed be in the Retro Track Face-Off video. So thank you all for watching, please subscribe and like the video, and I shall see you all next week. Goodbye.